Hi, everybody. Welcome to our very first official episode of Disney with the Ducks. I'm your host, Carly. I'm joined with my amazing co-hosts, Jeff, Kevin, Lonnie, and Jean. Say hi, everybody.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, everybody.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, everybody.
We are going to spend today talking about our Run Disney Marathon Weekend recap. So this is going to be a couple episode segment. We're going to spend this episode talking about the Expo, the 5K, and the 10K. And then we'll record another episode that discusses the half marathon and the full marathon. So you're going to get 2 back-to-back episodes of running, but I promise Disney with the Ducks is about more than just running. We are a Disney loving group with a running problem, but we will definitely cover more things in upcoming episodes like Disney resorts, Disney parks, and Disney Plus. We've got tons of things coming for you. So hang in if you're not a runner and just listen for the laughs, because we've definitely got those too. So we're going to start out today with the Expo and kind of give an overview of what we saw from the Expo. We've got 3 people on this screen who are veterans of the Run Disney weekends and Expo. So you're going to hear their take. And then Jeff and I are new to this. So you're going to hear our newbie experience with the Expo, which is spectacular. So do you guys want to start off, talk about this Expo and how it compares to previous years?
Yeah, Kevin, want to kick us off?
All right, cool. Yeah, so I flew in that morning because with Dopey Bibs, you pick up on the Wednesday because you run the next day at the 5K. So you arrived there with whoever is running the 5K and whoever's running the Dopey race. So for this year, they had the Disney merch in one building, and then the bib pickup in another building, and then the expo for the vendors in the third building. I think the expo opened at about 9:00. I don't really remember for sure, but I got there at about 9:30, and the line was very, very long. I was very intimidated by it. My goal for that expo was to get away with one ornament, because I always try to get the little shoe ornaments. This year it was a Mickey head ornament. I didn't see I don't know if they made the shoe or not, but the line was very, very long, but it actually moved pretty fast. Saw posts on Facebook where people were moving very fast, but it was lined up all the way out to the parking lot. Once you get in, one of the coolest things about this year that is new is they let you pay for your merchandise without standing in line, because in the past you'd wait in a long line for about an hour or maybe more, and then go through the expo and pick out your things, and then stand in another line that would take another maybe hour, sometimes longer. It's complete pandemonium when the expo opens. I should have learned my lesson after this is my third Dopey, so but I can't help it. I like to be there and see all the things they have, and but no, it was much better with the option to pay online, and then they had someone checking your receipt on your phone at the door, so that facilitated a much faster expo experience. So I thought that was great. The vendors in the extra tent were great. The volunteers for picking up bibs were super fast in the past. I've waited 45 minutes for my Dopey bib. This time I walked right up, I got it, and they had shirt exchanges there. So if you get there and your shirts are not fitting exactly right, they'll let you exchange them right there, or even another day. Yeah. So that's kind of my experience. But I thought it went much better this time. Long lines, but that's the expo. If you're not really looking at something specific to pick up at the expo, I would recommend going a little bit later, and you can walk right in. So I walked away with my Mickey head ornament. I was lucky. I think that was a little tough to find, but I was so glad to get it. So
Did you guys also arrive on Wednesday? Did you wait in the line? Were you there early?
Well, we came in initially. We were scheduled to get in at 9, and American changed our flight, so we didn't actually arrive until 12:30. So we decided we went checked in, then headed out to the expo, checked our luggage, that is, and then headed out to the expo. By the time we got there, it might have been maybe 1:30, closer to 2. So there wasn't a long line. Unfortunately, a lot of the stuff was picked over, at least the dopey stuff, right? So there was also a sweatshirt, that the Marathon Weekend sweatshirt, a blue one with the gold writing, that was gone. However, it is available on eBay. I think the last was like $5.99.
No, nice.
It's crazy. So that is available if you would like it. No. So, but we got there, was able to. I think most of the dopey pins were already taken. I was able to get a shirt. One thing about it I think was good this year is that dopey bib pickup was in a different location than the regular bibs. I think that helped it go by really fast. So like Kevin, we just strode right in, picked that up, and we had I think we were there for about an hour and a half or so. Then jetted out. We had an Epcot park reservation, and we had Ratatouille reservations. So I think we didn't spend too much time in the expo because, like I said, didn't have too much of anything in there.
Yeah. Your experience was a little different than us, I guess. This being our first expo event, that was one of my bigger stressors of the weekend because I wanted something to commemorate the event and everything.
Yeah.
And everything I saw, I knew it was going to be busy. We landed in Orlando 8:00 in the morning. We had our shuttle straight over to the hotel. We dropped our stuff. It was probably 8:45. Then we got an Uber from the Contemporary right over to the expo and got there maybe 9:15, 9:30. And at that point, they were lined outside the building and around the back of the building
for the merchandise.
For the merchandise part of it. So we got in the back of the line, and we were in line 90 minutes probably before we actually got inside to where the merchandise was.
Wow.
So he kept saying the entire time we're on the plane, like he was very anxious, but he kept saying, Expo is going to be the longest line you wait in all weekend. I'm like, they just want our money. Like, why are we waiting in line? Like, what? Why would this be the longest line? And then they drop us off, and we're all the way at the end of one building, and we go all the way around the building, and you queue outside several times in these like fake queues. And then I was like, oh, that wasn't bad. We walk in the building, and then you keep going through the building, and you get to this second enormous room that is just lines on the floor, queued back and forth. And if I remember, I will put pictures in the video and on Facebook so that people can see it, because hearing him talk about it'll be the longest line you wait in, I was like, I don't know, they wait in lines for rides, so it's not going to be bad. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Oh my gosh. And the funny thing is, I kept looking. I was like, oh, there's this huge room. I'm sure I'm going to see other people I know. There's tons of lizards down here. I don't know what dream reality I was living in that like everybody congregated together that we knew, but we saw no one else that we knew.
Jody and Tim.
Oh, we did see Jody and Tim, but we, tried to see them and meet up with them. But we did meet these really cool people from Texas. They're originally from Scotland. They have the most amazing Scottish accents, and we struck up conversation, and that helped the time go by. But it was crazy. And then you get into the room, and it's a mad dash. Oh, yeah. Everybody's like, grabbing over top of you. And Jeff's just like, grab several sizes, take them. Yeah. We'll see what fits. And that was
like Black Friday.
It was insane because people were grabbing several different sizes and then going off to the side and trying stuff on and then just putting it on this extra rack. And so when people are running around looking for merchandise, you had to not only look where the original merchandise was, but then you had to go around all of the extra racks to see if somebody had just, left one and decided they didn't want it. It was nuts.
I shop off the extra racks, so I go to the extra racks. But Disney is the master of the switchback. So you think, I'm in here, right? I would like to meet that Imagineer that came up with the concept of the switchback, and we're gonna have a nice conversation. I want to meet him in a dark alley, and we're gonna have a conversation about these whole switchback designs. But it was, we luckily, we didn't get what we wanted. Gene's not a big Expo person. I think he just puts up with the fact that I like to go. If he could get his bib and roll out, he'll hit. But I'm like, dude, I'm in here. I'm gonna see if I can pick up just a couple of things. But yeah, it's yeah.
And
Either you get there really early and you wait and you fight for stuff. Well, you don't really fight for stuff, but you get there early and you wait in line for stuff, or you get there later and you don't have a long line and you basically just you feast on the table scraps of what's left.
Yes.
And part of it with us was I went straight for the dopey stuff, knowing I was doing the dopey, wanted the pins, the magnet, things like that. Carly didn't know what races she was going to finish. So she bought 5K stuff, 10K stuff, half stuff, and then she would take back what she didn't because she didn't want to get something for something she didn't finish.
Yeah.
But if she made it through the half, she wanted something to commemorate the half. So
right. And then I saw the half hoodie with Donald on it, and I was like, oh, I really want to finish the half. I really, really want to because I really like the hoodie. So, but I am a firm believer now that pre-ordering is the way to go. I know you get a lot of things that you don't necessarily want because they have set up packages. And Kevin, you did a package, right?
I did. I got the dopey package that gives you the magnet into it gives you like a replica of the medal and then an extra medal too.
Yeah.
Something else I'll say, kind of, you know, with experience, if you go to the expo, if you get in there and you can't get in at the beginning and you don't want to wait in the line and you go through and you see something that you want and it's not there, try to come back another time because they are restocking throughout the day. So,
and then on Sundays they also had the merchandise tent set up at the race too. So they had stuff that was set up for people who whatever was left that you can go get. And the nice thing too with that merchandise is you can return it to any store on property. So you don't have to take it back to the expo. If you pick up something that doesn't fit, any of the Disney stores will return it.
Yeah. And you know what? You mentioned that's a good point about the store that's open after the race is actually open after every race. So if you're going after the 5K, there are 5K stuff and same with each race.
Did not know that.
Well, dang.
Yeah.
So, and then we went from there. We got our stuff. We went up to pick up our bibs. Carly was one of the people who did not get a waiver that disappeared into the internets whenever we tried to do it. And that process was very smooth.
Oh my gosh, they were super easy.
So this is the first time they've done the completely online waivers. In the past, they would send it and you would go and sign the document on site with computers and print it out. So it's interesting to see how it's changed.
Yeah, well, they had a big long table in there for people who didn't sign their waiver online. And they had waivers, and I took the time to fill one out. And then you take it up to this desk, and the woman said, you know, how can I help you? I said, well, my waiver didn't show up online. It disappeared when I clicked. So I filled this one out. And she's like, oh, let's take care of this online. And she went in and realized I had 2 profiles, and that's what messed it up. I had one that was Carly Positano and one Carly D Positano. Now you can all steal my bank account. You know, my middle initial and all that. But she was like, which one do you want to keep? And we figured it out. And then she deleted the other account. And now everything is nice online. So the next time I go,
hopefully,
the next time
you go, for sure. Yes.
Right.
Yes.
It should be okay.
When you go next
when
time.
you go next time.
Sure.
If I go next time.
Yeah. But from there, we went over, we picked up our shirts and tried them on. Everything fit good. So we left there. We went to the main expo just to kind of see what was through there.
That was like Jeff's favorite part.
Something else. I'll take this to give a shout out to all the volunteers. I mean, they did an excellent job for all the bib pickups and all the shirts. That's completely done by volunteers. They're not Disney employees. They're all volunteers. So
nice.
Anytime I go, I always try to thank them because they're there, volunteering to help all the runners, get their equipment, get their stuff, and go. So,
yeah, that was awesome.
I just want a point of clarity right here because Lonnie said something about me in the expo. I don't even know. I don't pay attention, but I do want to go to the expo because man, I want to know.
That's why you're frozen, right now.
No, I'm not.
You froze. You were just like that. You froze just like that because you said something mean about me. That's why.
I get like a magnet and I got a coffee cup, but I figured that they're already giving me like 6 shirts. I don't need another shirt or a jacket or something like that. And that's, look, I indulge Lonnie because, man, he wants to look. Does this jacket with the silver glittery thing or this purple, pullover or what? And which one do you think? He's at one point he's like, "You think my wife would like this?" He said, "Would Chrissy like this?" I said, "No. There's nothing at this place that if I brought home she'd say, 'Oh, thank you so much,' because this is just not." That's not what she wants. She'd rather spend my money on something else. But Ari or his daughter Katie, they might like it, because they just might,
Well, thank you for indulging me. I really appreciate it, sir.
But what I do like is, and we get a lot of time there, but we got plenty of time probably, is all the vendors and everything next door with all the stuff. Because I mean, that's just, I bought some salt tablets and I don't know, something else, maybe some goo, but that's it. But I
some
like
gooders.
To look at all the
you bought some gooders too.
Oh, I did buy some.
Like,
We both bought gooders. Yeah, I like if they got massage chairs and we have time, I wanted to try out the things that blow up on your legs. We didn't have time, but maybe I'll go again someday and I'll try that out. Who knows?
They did have a lot of really neat stuff at the expo, which I was all about the Disney merchandise, but then whenever you went over to the other one, everything that they had was kind of Disney themed. The gooders, they had the Minnie Mouse ones, which I almost bought and didn't. A lot of female runners are going to stop listening right now. I don't know what the big deal is about these sparkle skirts, but they had all kinds of sparkle skirts that were Disney themed. They had all kinds of headbands and stuff Disney themed. So I loved it. I expected to walk out of there with more than we did, and I don't think we bought.
So we're gonna raise money next time, and somebody I know is gonna wear a light up sparkle skirt if we raise that money.
Nice.
I'm all about it.
The highlight of that expo part, the actual expo for me, was Jeff Galloway has the pacing groups and stuff there.
Yes.
And he's there most of the day on Expo Day. And so we waited a little bit of a line, maybe 10 minutes. We got to talk to him for 5 minutes. And he's fantastic. Just like you forever. Right. Just
something else that's really cool is KT Tape has a booth there too. And so I've been to a lot of different races, and that's the only race that I've ever been to where they actually tape you up at the expo. I mean, everywhere else they'll sell you the stuff and all that, but in this one they'll actually tape you up, and you'll see people getting taped up with the experts there that know exactly how to do it
for free too.
For free, yeah.
Right.
Free.
Yeah. It had a very long line when we were there, so we didn't stay, but I had my own KT tape, but I did see that and I thought that was really awesome.
It's pretty neat.
Yeah, I saw somebody getting taped and it was weirdly inappropriate for me standing there watching them get taped, so I just moved on. I said, I'll tape myself. I'm like, that's not, I don't think KT tape goes.
Oh my.
Wow.
Now I need to know where this is happening.
That would be on the outtakes.
There we go. Ducks After Dark.
So anything else major from the expo that we need to touch on, or is that pretty well?
No, I think it was well run, at least to me, right? They were trying to get stuff out as quick as possible. I mean, everybody, when you stopped them there and asked if they had something, they say, "Let me go check in the back," or they said, "Nah, this is it." But I had a couple of guys go check for stuff for me, and I was able to get it. I actually ran into we ran into hashtag Scotty G and Mike at the expo and talked to them for a while, which was cool catching up because I haven't seen them live in a long time. So it was a good expo.
Oh, I do want to say one more thing. I wish that we would have spent more time getting pictures taken with the special setups that they had at the expo. Mm-hmm. I felt like it was our first day at Disney, and so I wanted to just get to a park. But they had all kinds of, they've got the numbers set up for the 5, the 10, the half, the full, the dopey, the goofy. They've got, a big cardboard castle, which we were like, nah, we don't need a cardboard castle because we're going to see the real one. But then I didn't even get a picture in front of the real castle either. But outside, they had several with the metal displays, cardboard metal displays that you could stand next to. And next time, that's on my to-do list. I have to take some time for that and slow down and enjoy it.
That's a rookie mistake of not separating a Disney vacation from a run Disney vacation. Those are two different animals that they're not the same.
Yeah.
So
I think you hit the nail on the head there, Jeff. It's really two different things when you go for a Run Disney event as compared to just going to the park. When you're like, oh, I got to get to the park. I mean, we ended up going to Epcot, but we know we're going to go just to eat. And, you know, then we just had the Ratatouille. We checked in actually at 7 at the airport. And I said, oh, I got a boarding pass. So we was able to get there and get that. But usually you're right. Two different things.
Yep.
All right. So let's jump into the 5K. Let's kind of go around and talk highlights maybe.
Getting there.
Oh, yeah. We got to talk about getting there because it changed on us halfway through. You guys were, what resorts did you stay at?
Yeah, I stayed at Pop.
I also stayed at Pop.
Right?
Pop. Yep.
Pop.
So you guys bussed every single day then?
Every day.
Okay.
And the buses were great. I mean, they literally, we came out and you can look over and there were just lines of buses, right? Not a long wait. We stayed in building 8, the 800 buildings, which are really cool because it's basically right by the, you can see the bus station when you came out, but then you can walk across the parking lot to get to the buses. So it made it really easy and simple. And it also made it a nice little walk over to the Skyway, the Skyliner. So it was, to me, I like building 8. I know some people like the preferred buildings because you're a little closer to the Skyliner, but I think where we were in the fact how you can walk across the parking lot, it was like preferred without being preferred.
Nice.
Preferred-ish.
Yeah.
Preferred-ish. Preferred adjacent. I feel like that should have been a Gene Thesaurus throw out there, but
yeah,
preferred adjacent. I like that.
One of the things that was really cool this time, I don't know if it's been that way every time, but the buses, it was just one right after another, just boom, 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 boom. They were on top of it. In the past, you always get that kind of anxiety if you're not on the first bus and you're kind of waiting in a long line. In the past, at Pop, it would back up all the way past the marketplace, and even to the point where you get checked in from what used to be Magical Express. So this time it was bus after bus after bus. They were backed up all through the parking lot. So that it's always nice to start your race weekend off and know that you've got transportation just waiting for you. This was the first. I've done 7 different Run Disney weekends. This is by far the best one at transportation. I think they're finally really getting it and understanding how to make it effective. And I thought it was fantastic.
Yeah, it was good. I was going to make a joke. I mean, after how many years have they been doing races? And I was going to say, and they're finally getting the transportation together. I was going to make that joke and I decided not to. And now y'all make me have to do it.
Well,
but
it's Negative Gene. Negative Gene has entered the chat.
And I'll add, to be fair, the buses for Run Disney events are contracted out through a different company. So they're not traditional Disney, transportation. So in the past, there's been some horror stories of people getting lost and that kind of thing. This time I followed it pretty close, and I don't think that was the case at all. I think the new drop-off location at Epcot with the bus locations, I thought it worked really well. A little bit longer walk, but it's worth it to know that you're going to get there and you're not going to be having to run to the start line. So,
yeah. I mean, you walk 3 miles, but you don't have to.
You still walk 3 miles. Yeah. You're going to walk. That's for sure.
Yeah.
And I think this was the first year they actually did it a different way when they dropped us off and then we had to walk across. I think they learned from 2020 Marathon Weekend when they had the issues with the buses kind of coming across the course and they had to start late. So yeah, it was a little extra walking, but you got a chance to go through the metal detectors or whatever and get in. I found that was quicker than previous years when you had to actually go through and they look through your bags and stuff like that. But yeah. I think it went besides the walk, I mean, and they had a lot of volunteers along the way, just telling us, go straight if you want to walk a little shortcut and go through the grass or go the long way. Yeah. And then they had the, of course, the little Jeffrey's coffee, trucks out there and some other vendors out there. Yeah, to get some breakfast if you want it. So yeah, it's pretty good.
Something else that was really cool is even though you have that walk, you have the World Showcase. You can see the ball lit up and everything, and it's so nice to. Yeah. So many people were taking pictures on their walk, and another tip is before you get to the staging area, there's actually you have access to the Epcot indoor restrooms on the right before you go in. So hopefully they'll keep that up. But it was kind of nice to have that instead of using the porta potties the whole time. So
I didn't know that, man.
It's good to know,
right? That is good to know. Our busing situation was a little different because we'd never done it before, and we weren't at Pop. We stayed DVC, so we were at Bay Lake Tower, and I am so glad that we took the time on Wednesday to figure out where transportation was picking us up, because I expected a few things. Number one, I expected Disney buses. So I thought, oh my gosh, like we're not fitting very many people on these buses, but they're mirrors kind of coach style buses, which made me feel a lot better after the first day. But I know Jeff was really anxious about busing and getting there super early. So we scouted out where we were going. And that's the thing with Bay Lake Tower. It's not separate from Contemporary. So I expected a bus to be out by Bay Lake Tower exit. And it wasn't. You walked all the way over to Contemporary, over by the convention center out front. You were like almost to the road, World Drive. And it was like, oh my gosh, we're walking forever. And I kept trying to follow signs, but the signage wasn't great. And I feel like if we hadn't scouted it out the night before, we would have been a mess the day of.
Yeah, they don't do their buses in the front of the building at the Contemporary where the park buses go. They're all the way out. But they were the guys that they had in charge there were radioing people through, making sure buses were where they're supposed to be. We had one right there at like 10 till 3, and they were loading up, ready to go, and just rotated them from there. We shared a bus with us, Fort Wilderness, and Wilderness Lodge. So every stop had its own bus to start with. But after the first one left, then they just rotated between the 3 resorts to pick up people as they went. But we were on the first bus. It's very efficient. We were in through early, through security early, and it worked out very well.
Yeah.
Good deal.
And something I'll add, this is my first time going completely solo. I've done, like I said, this is my 3rd Dopey. Going solo is a little bit different. Getting up at 4 days in a row at 2:30 in the morning is painful. But it worked out well, and just plan out your wake up times. I think that's probably the toughest thing about Dopey is waking up. So,
oh my gosh, we had so many alarms set. I had some set. He had some set. Then we had a pact with other people down there. We're like, oh my gosh, Jody and Tim, like, message us when you get up, and we'll message you when we get up. And if we don't message back within 10 minutes, then call.
Yeah.
We were so paranoid we would sleep in and miss everything.
That's my biggest fear. Yeah.
You guys formed a coalition of the willing. Y'all just kind of like, you call me, y'all was early, like you went in with first wave. I mean, you were making it happen.
Yes. You guys not so much?
No.
Is that just you guys are tired, or is that because you're veterans? So you're like, we got this, we're good.
No, we just set the clock and it went off, and I'm like, it's time to get up, turn the light on, and we just got to. Now on the 5K, we actually rode the bus. Mike was on the bus. Mike Rahman was on the bus. So that was we ran into him. We weren't the first bus, but we were like maybe the second or 3rd bus. I mean, they were taking off so fast that you just But yeah, no, we just set the clock and make it happen.
So let's talk a little bit about the pre-race arrivals.
Hey, just a second. Hold on. I wanted to go back because I just wondered about this. Have you ever heard 2 things first? Have you ever heard of anybody oversleeping?
Yes.
For this?
Yeah. A lizard did actually. She typed a message about how she did and missed the race. The half, yes.
Oh,
we're not going to say any names because we don't have permission. But yeah,
so many nightmares of that. Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Seinfeld scared me of that a long time ago. That AM PM on the alarm clock from the Seinfeld episode. That was.
What was your second thing?
My second thing was, Kevin, you've mentioned this twice in just passing about this is the first one you've done alone. I thought you'd run alone, but this is the first one you've come alone. Is that what?
That's correct. First time I've come completely by myself.
Did your family come with you previously, or what?
Every other time, my family was here as kind of my safety net. You know, it was
right.
First time I completely let go and just said, you know, I'm gonna hang out with people and I'm gonna meet people and run with people, and it was great.
Kevin, I wish I knew that when we first met, because I would have gladly gave you Gene. And you guys could have hung out. You could have stayed in your room and you could have hung out with it, man. I didn't know that, you know.
Yeah.
I was sure you were gonna say I would have traded you for Gene or whatever, but okay.
No, I was gonna send you to Kevin. No.
This is all funny though, but do you know how this man harasses me to go to this stuff? I'll tell you this. With that being said about going with your family. Whenever Lonnie asked me to go the first time, and I remember my son, he's now 18, but I guess he was probably 13, 14 at the time. And he said, what kind of person leaves their kid at home to go to Disney World and run a race, leaves their whole family at home? I mean, what kind of guy are you? Well, me too. I mean, I've gone 3 times. I've done it 3 times, and we've talked about them going, but it's just not worked out that way. And, you know.
Well, that's fine. You know, you can say what your wife said. I never forget. Christy told me, I think she's like, you know, there's nothing wrong with 2 men going to Disney by themselves. And she just stopped talking and she looked at me and I'm like, your condemnation has no power over me. Oh, yeah, I might have to cut that too.
Well, no, we'll leave that in there. Just you know,
she might cut.
You're on that helmet, so when she whacks you in the head, you're protected.
Nah, she's got a good sense of humor.
All right, so let's move into. We've gone through security. We're at the pre-race before the corrals. What's that like for everybody? What's your thoughts on the pre-race stuff?
You know, I think they do a good job. The DJs, the entertainment to kind of fire people up. The best thing about the Lizards is, you know, we hang out at the around the bag check. This time we were at the baby drop off. I didn't understand why they had a tent that said baby drop off. Like you drop the baby off and then go run your race and come back and pick it up. I don't know if they thought about that when they put that up there. I don't know, but so we met there hoping to rescue a baby. But
I'm going to take that idea to the casinos. You know, we have about 5 or 6 casinos here locally, and there's in the news there's somebody that left their kids at home or left their kids in a car or something, and so that maybe it is an idea. Maybe drop off at the casinos.
Yeah, you get you're playing at the slot machines. They bring you free drinks, and they actually take your baby and bring it to the room and let them stay over there. Nothing wrong with that. So, but we ran into a whole lot of friends that we had from previous Run Disney races, and heck, look, that's where we met you guys, Jeff and Carly. I mean, that's for the first time, right? So it's a great. And we take a group picture, but it's a great time to kind of, even if you're by yourself, like Kevin said, he went by himself. You're not alone once you get there because you see all these lizards. That's where we met Kevin as well. You kind of, you're there so early, right? The race starts at 5. You're there at 3. So you got 2 hours or an hour where you're just kind of hanging around before you head out to the corral. So being in a running group like the Lizards, you have an opportunity to meet people that you talk to online via Messenger, and you follow their training as they got ready for this event. So I think it makes it a lot easier and eases the angst if you're there by yourself.
Donna laughs because we talked about the Lizards and going in the morning to the pre-race stuff, and she's like, so basically you're going to Florida and you're meeting up with people that you've only met online. Isn't that what you tell me not to do?
Exactly.
Yes,
Out
exactly.
the mouth of kids just kind of tell you, and you're like, yeah, now that I think about it. Don't do what I do. Do as I say and not as I do.
Right? We come home with weird people now.
Yeah.
We talked a little bit about the walk-in. I know that Kevin, has mentioned at one point, that he knew how far it was. I'll tell you that part of it, I didn't mind at all. I mean, I knew it was a little ways, but a little farther, but it allowed me to kind of get my mind right and just get warmed up, visit with people. Lonnie and I catch up, I mean, it's not like we hadn't been catching up for the last few days or whatever, but still, I didn't mind that part at all. I think you at some point had mentioned before that before the races, the lizard stuff, the corrals, Carly was just, I'm pointing to you like I'm pointing to you, but Carly, you had mentioned that, and it's the same for me. I mean, because I would never ever in a million years do this if it was just going to be me by myself. I'm doing it because I do it with my best friend. I get a chance to meet these great people. I like meeting people and learning about everybody's backgrounds and why they're there and their experiences the day before, whatever. I love that stuff. That's my very favorite part of the whole deal.
Yeah. And just for those out there that are listening that are a little shy about jumping into a group, I'm the most shy person ever. But you walk into a group like the Lizards and if you can get over that hump of just being a little bit, the butterflies in your stomach, if you can go up and just say hi, I promise that you will thank yourself so much later.
Mm-hmm.
I've made so many friends, so many lifelong friends.
Yeah,
just
for sure.
Going up and saying hi. And I mean, people are so welcoming at these races. I mean, whether it's the Lizards or any other group, I mean, you meet anybody on the course, people are so welcoming. And for somebody that struggles with that, please, if you ever see any of us, come up and say hi. I promise that we'll hang out, and if you want to run with us or if you want to hang out with us, whatever, we'll be there for you. I promise.
Or if you want Gene to be your roommate, Lonnie will make a trade.
Yeah, for sure.
For a roommate to be designated later or something like that.
The future draft pick.
Yeah.
Out of everything in the races, I think meeting up in the morning was my favorite. And that was the part I was really dreading going into all of it, because I thought, oh my gosh, we have 2 hours before the race. I don't know these people that well. I'm not good at small talk. I get super nervous and then I say dumb things. And it was just very seamless. And then we ended up in the corrals, and that's when we actually met the three of you, because Kevin, I think you were standing somewhere close to us, and we saw that you had on the Lizard, BOGP Lizard shirt.
Mm-hmm.
And so we talked a little bit, and then Jeff actually saw Lonnie a few people ahead of us, and you said, I think that's Lonnie. He's a photo bomber. He's a photo bomber. I was like,
I've been called
the photo bomber.
Okay.
the photo bomber. Yeah.
He's like, let's go up and say hi. I'm like, do you think he actually wants to say hi to you? Whatever. Let's go. Okay. So we go up, and I'm just like humoring him, like, oh my gosh, my husband's weird. I'm sorry. But then you guys were just so nice. And we struck up conversation, and it came super easy. And then we're talking about things. And then it was like, okay, I guess we're all running together. That's just the way it's going to be. And, then we met up with Sarah and Craig and Alyssa, and all of these people just kept like Chad. And, we kind of just hooked onto a whole group of people. And it was the best part of the entire weekend.
The S3 corral was a pretty good corral start.
It was.
Yeah.
So the race starts. What are the highlights of the actual race itself then? We got the 5K. I know my perspective, we had no intentions of running this at all. We were dressed up in costumes, which really isn't my thing, but we had fun with it.
Yeah, it's your thing. It's your thing.
It is now.
Because you look good in it, man. I'm just saying, you guys rock.
5K is the best time to do that.
Yeah. We never run I should say never run it. I mean, we ran it one time just because it was so cold that we said we're going to walk it. And like after about a mile, I think I looked at Gene, looked at me and said, man, we just need to get out of this cold. And we ran the rest. But usually the 5K is it's made to walk, right? It's because you're having so much fun. You're paying so much for a 5K, right? So this is a good time to take it all in, get all the characters. And they had a fair number of characters there, right? For this. So yeah, 5K walking, it's made for that.
Yep. I know the coolest thing I wasn't expecting. I knew the characters would be out there, but the barges from the Harmonious had the little overlays on the edge of those, and the water streams were going, the fountains were going, but it had the Marathon Weekend 22 on the sides, and I think that was a big surprise for a lot of people that weren't expecting that. That was pretty cool to be out there.
Oh yeah, I agree. I love seeing those. I think that's one of the highlights of walking around World Showcase is to see those barges and how they had them. I mean, I think we took a bunch of pictures around there. You know, from every angle. I mean, they're so big, I guess you can't miss them. So from every angle, you can take pictures of it. I mean, but it really was nice how they had it across the screen and the water shooting out and all that kind of good stuff. And Gene and I, so we were with Sarah and Sarah's husband, and so we kind of dressed up, right? We had our Mifflin,
Thunder Mifflin,
them 5K shirts on, and so the race for people with rabies shirts. So you know, so we did that, and we had a couple of people stop us and actually take pictures of those shirts. So we did that, and then we kind of just hung out with you guys, which was awesome.
Well, we hung out with Kevin for about the first mile, and then Kevin ditched us and decided that he didn't want to do this 1 hour, 10-minute 5K pace, and he finished at 45 minutes.
Yeah, Kevin, what's up with that?
So you got stopped for the 1 mile. I guess it was the first mile marker, and so I, of course, you know, I'll get into this in the other races. I had to hit the restroom. Went to the restroom. I came back and nobody was around. I was like, oh no, where's everybody? So I took off and I went way too fast. And I think I must have passed you guys. And I have no clue what happened, but I went way too fast, and that's never going to happen again. It's really hard not to go fast when you get into Epcot, though. Whenever the torches are blaring and the music is blaring, it's so much fun. Running around World Showcase and the music is just so awesome.
Yeah, it's a trap
really focus on
to make you run faster.
It does. It does.
But I'm immune to Disney's advances.
Now we do have a rule that you do run whenever you see the photo pass people, though.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, that's in the Geneva Convention. You gotta
look out for the green tents. The green tents with the polyurethane little things. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. It took me a while to start recognizing them or figuring out where they were or what was going on. I would just see Lonnie start to run, and I was like, "Oh, okay, I must run."
His spidey sense tingles about
right?
The Peter tingle.
Those spidey senses because
Peter tingle,
every
right.
picture of Jeff is like weird. He had no idea where the photo pass photographer was, and
they were all bad.
It became a good joke. So
hey, when we were talking about just sort of an aside, so I said that about Lonnie and the spidey sense, but like I went through my pictures to kind of refresh my memory. I have like 2 pictures of the 5K, all right, because and that day I have some, but like I went through my roll to y'all asking for pictures of Disney with the Ducks. So I start looking. I don't have any pictures because every time we come up to something, I'd go to pull my phone out. And Lonnie's already taken a picture. Hey, can you take our picture? And so I don't have any pictures because I'm like, he's taking one. I don't need to take one, but I don't.
But then he doesn't share those either. Those are all for Lonnie.
Yeah,
he has to purchase the photo package. He wants to get those pictures. So Venmo me, and I'll provide those pictures to you.
But with that being said, when y'all are talking about taking a picture with all the different things, like at the expo, like Lonnie takes a picture with everything, and like I don't need to do that.
Yeah, he's hanging in the
I'll
back.
never look. He's like, well, you don't want to take a picture, man? I'm like, dude, I'll never ever look at it again. It's just taking up space on my camera. And then today I want to go look at them, and I don't have any. So,
you see?
There you go.
Hope you learned a valuable lesson from this.
See, I didn't think it was such a big deal because it's not like in previous years where you could go up and stand next to them or like put your arm around them and that kind of thing. So it was like, well, if I'm just standing in front of them because of social distancing anyway, I'll just stop and take a picture with my own camera, selfie style, with them in the background. But I was also trying to keep up with everybody. And so almost every single picture that I took, I'm still moving when I'm taking the picture. So it's Carly with a blurred Cogsworth and Lumiere, Carly and Jeff with a blurred Sebastian, Carly and Jeff with blurred Abu and Jasmine. I have all these very blurry pictures. So I definitely think we need to stop in the future and take the pictures.
The one that wasn't blurry was Sadness. We got a good picture with Sadness.
Yeah, we took that one together. Kevin had already left. He think he was back at his hotel by then. He was back at top by the time.
I was having Mickey Waffles.
He probably was. That's what he was. He was at Pop. You know, we were like just getting up on Sadness, you know, taking a picture. He was already to the bus, finished, metal pick.
That's so sad. I didn't need a single with Mickey Waffle that whole trip.
Yeah, I was trying to get to Rise. That's for sure.
Oh, well,
no, we can't blame you for that.
Yep.
That's an amazing one.
Mm-hmm. So now the truth comes out. Did he lose us? Or did he try to get the Rise? You see, you let a person talk long enough, you can pick up on certain things.
Right.
All right, Kevin, we got you.
Did he lose us or did he shake us?
Right.
Exactly.
No.
Shook a tail.
Any other key points from the 5K? Is that pretty much?
No, you know, the weather was perfect. I mean, it was a little cold in the morning, but once it started moving a little bit, it was pretty good.
Was that the day it rained?
I think, did it rain for the 5K? Where it drizzled or the 10K?
I think it drizzled a little on the 10K.
10K, I think was
10K, yeah.
Okay.
Yes. It blurs all together for me too, because I had to ask Jeff before the episode, let's write down some details because I don't remember any of it. It's all a blur.
It was pretty chilly.
It was chilly, but you know, and for that first mile, then you get warmed up and you're like, okay, I'm good.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
don't cross the timing mat with the Nylar blanket. You're okay with the 5K, but the 10K, when it starts the time, just know that. That's a good tip for you as to qualify for the course.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So 10K discussion, highlights. Who wants to start?
You know, I think the pre-race stuff was the same, right? Same buses, same everything.
Yep.
Same long walk.
Took our group picture. You know, I know you guys probably tried to shake us, but we caught you guys walking to the corral and was like, "Hey, we're together again, right?" And you're like, "I guess." That's what Jeff said.
Oh my gosh, that's not at all true. So
and then we went to the corral.
It was so funny because the entire night before that and the morning, I'm going to sound like a stalker. So you guys are all going to like ditch the podcast after this episode. But I was like, I would love to run with those guys all weekend. Like, I think they were super fun. I forgot how, you know, my knee hurt, my legs hurt, and my feet hurt, everything hurt, but I forgot all about it because I was so busy talking. And then Jeff was like, well, I mean, we could ask them if they want to run again. I was like, no, I think they're too nice. I think they would say yes, even if they didn't want to. Kevin's shaking his head now. He's like, I'm not. But I said, let's just wait and see if they come up to us and say something. And
like an awkward date.
It was an awkward date. Like, I don't want to be too eager. So then I would just like make eye contact and wave a little bit. It was the most awkward, like flirting for friends.
So the 10K is where we really started becoming a group.
Yes.
I think the 10K is where it really started solidifying us as the Ducks.
Yes. Is that the day that Lonnie and I imposed and invited us ourselves to breakfast?
Yes, it was.
Absolutely.
Yes, it was.
Which is totally fine, but I mean, we are going to have to talk about that Ale and Compass here.
Yeah. I think Jeff accidentally said, "Yeah, I got some reservations." I'm like, "Oh, what time?" And then he's like, "I shouldn't have said that."
Only for 2.
Yeah.
You know, I had romantic. I'm like, "Oh, what time are we going?"
That's the other thing. When we booked our reservations 60 days out for this, we made them for 6 or 7 people because we didn't know if we'd run into people, but we wanted to have options. We can always scale back if we needed to.
And
we plan on making friends. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Well, we had some friends that were supposed to, you know, have some meals with us, but things fell through. And so it was like, well, we could lower our reservations down to, you know, 2, but that's sad. Like, what if
I thought you were going to say we can lower our standards?
That's what I thought you said. I thought you were going to say too. Lower our standards and our expectations, like those 2.
Yeah. What's funny about that is like after the 5K, I don't remember what we did. It all kind of runs together.
We went to Hollywood Studios, but Kevin had already ridden Rise and probably rode everything else.
Kevin,
I went to August.
Sure.
I had a fuzzy tauntaun. It was good.
So funny.
by 8 a.m.?
There's nothing wrong with drinking at 9:30 in the morning when you've been up since 2.
Yeah, didn't we have that reservation? We had that reservation.
We did. We went there. We went right to
the
Millennium
nuts
Falcon,
or something.
first.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Support.
We had the charcuterie board, which is
Yeah.
and then we had the tauntaun and stuff.
Bantha, pork skins, bantha cracklings, whatever. I don't know. But I was craving like real breakfast. Like that morning, I was like, man, I could eat some biscuits or something. And
I was like, you're gonna eat this charcuterie board. That's what you eat. That's why our reservation.
It was like this big. Like it was. Anyway, when y'all start talking about breakfast, I'm like, I mean, these are great folks, but I mean, if we get into breakfast with them, that's it. I mean, best friends for life, man. I mean, that's
that's why they were friends. They wanted food.
Yep. No.
It said blueberries and bacon pancakes, and I was like, that's it. I'm done.
Oh my God.
Oh, that's so good.
Oh. Yeah. So let's get through the 10K so we can talk about breakfast.
Yes. Now I'm hungry already, though.
So the 10K started out this normal morning pre-corrals. Corrals are normal. Race itself, the course, was it the same as?
No, wait, isn't this the day where they put the tape in front of us? Okay, so I got to talk about this. They run the tape in front of us. So they split the corrals and they run the tape in front of us. And then, so we are at the very front when they start our wave of our corral. Mm-hmm. And I will never, ever, as long as I live, forget. They start us off, the fireworks go, they blow this buzzer, and I start running.
Yeah, you shot out like a cannon.
We're at the front.
And I remember telling Gene, I was like, so that's what we're doing? We're running now? I thought we had a plan for the race. I was like, that's what we're doing? I guess we're running. Let's run.
I guess it's a PR.
Yeah.
Golly.
So I just expect, like, we're in Corral 3. People are expecting to finish pretty fast. So, and we're at the front. I don't want to get trampled. So I was expecting just to run until things spread out a little bit. We could get off to the side and start our run walks. But when we get off to the side and start the run walks, Lonnie's like, I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. I was like, oh, I didn't know we weren't running. I'm sorry.
I wasn't prepared. I didn't start my Garmin or anything. I just didn't know. I thought we were walking the first couple. Nah.
That was the best. No, that was my favorite part.
Yeah. I mean, look, you could have told everybody that you started the race. You wouldn't have to know that you just ran a tape in front of us. We have photographic proof of us in front that start line.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. We're finishing and crossing the finish line. We actually got to peel that tape. That would have been great.
Yeah.
I thought the 10K.
So the race was pretty good. I think the 10K was awesome. I think it did drizzle just a little. I think that's the
one drawback to me on the 10K was there were no restroom stops for the first over 2 miles.
I remember that. I do remember that. And you kept saying, there is no bathrooms. I was like, man. And I was starting to look. I was like, I'm not seeing any. I know they didn't have any.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
It was bad. It was it was past 2 miles before they threw one out there. And
you were ready to go off into the tree line.
I was.
And like fight a gator for a bathroom spot.
It was getting close. But I think Kevin was going with me.
I was with you, man. I was ready.
I don't think you missed a bathroom after that moment.
No,
it was pretty consistently restroom stops after that.
It's a family car ride. If you stop, you're going. Whether you have to or not, you're going to go.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
I think that was the race we learned that we also need to exchange phone numbers, right? So that we don't lose no man left behind. Because was it the 10K that I awkwardly called you, Kevin?
It was. I was in the porta potty and I got a call from Carly. I'm like,
it was a video chat, wasn't it?
It was not a
video chat. It was a video chat. It was
at 5. Kevin's like, who's calling me at 5:30 in the morning? Hello.
Like, hello. Who's this?
What you should have said is, I'd like to talk to you about the extended warranty on your car.
I didn't want to lose him again. We had lost Kevin the day before, so I was trying to, be a mother hen and
like
keep everybody together.
We lose Kevin?
Yes, I didn't want to lose Kevin.
At that point, I was like, "This is my crew. I'm staying with you the whole way."
Rise of the Resistance be darned. I'll stay with these guys. Gene, what were you going to add about bathrooms?
He knew you had that reservation.
I was just going to ask that.
That's what it was.
Like, anybody get the door opened on them at the back? Because the people in and out so quick that Like that happens, you know. And I know
I
that
scarred Gene for life. I'm sorry.
no, that's it happened to me. I opened the door. It's just, you know, people running in and out of these things, you know, it's just, you know.
Oh, you had a door open on you too.
Well, yeah. I mean, my back was to the, you know, but it's still, you know, it was a whole different situation.
Gene wanted that door open on him. He just acts like he left it open on,
Stop it.
you know. But people, another pro tip, I've gone on many a porta can and people left their running belts in there and stuff like they take it off and hanging up on the door. So make sure you grab your stuff when you leave out of there. I mean, you know,
I thought you said you can get
them.
a running belt.
You can get one. I mean, I took some salt tabs, some kind of pill they had. I took it. I don't know what it was, but I felt tingly after. But no.
So the 10K for us was the first time running through the studios and running the boardwalk area. So that was a neat experience.
No, the studios were great. Running through there was, I think, one of the moments that stands out the most out of all of the sections of the race.
Yeah.
It was just, there was something cool about being able to run down, is it Sunset Boulevard? Sunset Boulevard.
And you had the most studios time on that course because you came in the back by Rock and Roller Coaster. You came in front of Tower of Terror. You ran all the way down Sunset, all the way down Hollywood Boulevard and back out. So.
And they had some projections on the Tower of Terror, which was good. And I think we ran into some lizards there as well.
We did. By that point, we had picked up Jenny Mueller and we had picked up Chris Walker was with us.
Yeah.
And we ran into Dipty. Right. She was getting pictures there for a while.
We saw Dipty up and down every race, you know.
Yeah, she would run past us. Then she'll stop and she'll run past us, and we'll go this way. I mean, she's pretty good. So I think we saw her at Tower of Terror while she was taking a picture with, and her and her husband were taking a picture, and with the cast there.
Yes,
pretty good.
Yeah.
And then going down to the boardwalk, they had before the boardwalk in that real tight little narrow area, they had the Orange Bird.
Yeah.
So that was a fun one.
Spraying out orange scent and people were complaining that
they should have told us something about that, because I mean, you get a mouthful of Orange Bird, it shoots the orange out at you. You're walking by, you're like, it's got me. You know? It's just, I don't know. What's so funny about that? I don't.
A mouthful of Orange Bird.
I mean, you know, the fragrance would shoot out at you. You know, you're like, I remember Jeff saying, we need a picture with Orange Bird. And, you know, so we got the picture and the smell.
Oh my gosh.
So we finish up the 10K. Any other major highlights for you guys for the race itself?
It was a good course. You know, running with you guys was pretty fun. I think we stopped for a couple of quick character stops.
Yep.
Didn't finish at a really good time.
And then from there, we went and got showered, cleaned up, and then that's where we had our Ale and Compass breakfast.
Yes.
So that was.
Hey, before that though, Carly, that was a significant distance for you, wasn't it?
The 10K?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought I knew the 5K we were gonna walk and I would be okay. 10K, in my head I was like, I can probably do a 10K, but I wasn't super confident. So I finished the 10K and felt like, wow, I still kind of have some energy left. I felt good afterwards. And we did spend a significant amount of time in the park after the 10K. We ended up at Epcot and walked around a lot, which I regretted the next morning. But yeah, it was the race that was kind of, maybe I'll do it, maybe I won't kind of thing. So yeah, we ended up at Ale and Compass for breakfast. And it was all of us and Jody and Tim Bidding, who are also Duck hosts. Hopefully you'll see soon. But
we'll do a full dining review, I'm guessing, of this one for everybody at some point.
I think that was our first meal together, so we need to do one for that. That was a
right. Have you guys eaten there before?
It was my first time.
First time.
We could talk about getting stuck on the Skyliner for a hot second.
Right. Oh my gosh.
You know, so we were actually late, but I believe we were fashionably late. We weren't really late.
I think Carly might disagree with that.
Yeah, she might.
Poor Kevin got to see.
Oh yeah, she's real hungry.
Carly's talents come out that day because we hadn't had much for breakfast. I don't think I had anything.
Nothing at all.
I didn't have anything on course. I had one coffee at about 2:30 in the morning, and I am a coffee fiend. And so we got to the yacht club for Ale and Compass breakfast, and there were 7 of us on the reservation. 3 of us were there, me, Jeff, and Kevin. And we walked up and said, hey, we're here. The rest of our party's not here, but they're coming. And he was like, well, we need 50% to be here before we can see you. And I was like, I need a half a human. Like, I was like, can we just it's 3. We're just waiting on 4. And then you guys said you were stuck on the Skyliner. And so were Jody and Tim. And so
they weren't that busy.
I went back up and I said, hey, they're stuck on the Skyliner. There's really nothing they can do. But we just ran the 10K this morning, and I haven't had any coffee, and I'm kind of getting shaky. I'm hungry. I really would just love a coffee and an orange juice. So if we could sit down and just get a coffee and a water and orange juice, we will leave the waitress alone until the rest of the party gets there. Mm-hmm. And he said, I'm sorry, we can't. He's like, I could get you a glass of water though. I was like, coffee, orange juice. I need the coffee. So I went on a nice little walk around trying to calm myself down because I was definitely hangry and the sugar was dropping and I was getting angry at life. And but then they got us in, they got us coffee and orange juice, and I was happy as could be after that because that breakfast is so underrated. It's so good. So good.
It was excellent breakfast, excellent company. I got to tell you this, guys. I'm gonna deviate for a second, but speaking of coffee, so Gene would make coffee in the mornings over at Pop, and the first time he made coffee, this is, you got to look at him when I say this. Gene gets the coffee, he sips it and says, "Man, this coffee is salty," and then he say, and then he kept drinking it, and I'm thinking to myself, I said, Gene, coffee's not supposed to be salty. He says, yeah, I know. It's the strangest thing. And he just keeps drinking the coffee. And I'm looking at him like, he's like, you going to make you a cup? I'm like, no.
What did you do to the coffee?
I didn't do anything to it. Yeah. You have to explain.
I'll tell you what I think. I think that, so I've been drinking salt tabs. I don't know if that has anything to do with it. But I also just got over COVID, I could just travel. And so I didn't lose any but I've been smelling weird stuff since October of 20. Cigarette smoke all the time. Nobody around me smokes. Lately it's been like a solvent, like some kind of, gas or some kind of cleaner. I smell it all the time. I just didn't know. I was like, that's the weirdest thing. There was nothing in it. It was just water from a bottle. I knew it wasn't, and the next day it was like that too. I just went with it,
I just smell solvents all the time. Pete Morrison is going to be narrating your.
In fact, he didn't smell solvents.
Maybe he did, but later. So yeah, we definitely have to do a review on that on breakfast. It was fantastic, and I think from then we went to, where did we go, Gene? After that, what park did we go to? Animal Kingdom. So that was our Animal Kingdom.
That was Gene's birthday.
Yeah, that was Gene's birthday. I forgot to say that. Gene, that was your birthday. Yeah.
Yep.
So for those of you who are only listening on the podcast or your podcast catcher, not watching on YouTube, make sure you click over for our YouTube review of the Dining with the Ducks, Cheese and Quackers for the full Ale and Compass version of this. So
it'll be coming.
But
Kevin, anything about breakfast that you want to add?
Well, after breakfast, I followed you guys over to Epcot, and it was awesome.
He followed over.
You were with us.
We didn't know he was
behind the bushes following you guys.
Yeah, I was following you guys. You taught me about UFOs, so I'm gonna get me some UFOs.
Oh yes.
Crocs or not today.
Yeah, he's popping up behind bushes.
Yeah,
great.
So yeah, we went over to Epcot, and what was the the guy that we saw that did the tricks.
Oh, Sergio. Sergio.
Sergi.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I've never seen that before. It's really cool.
Mime.
Have you guys seen him? He juggles and he's in the Italy pavilion all the time and juggles and he just has a whistle.
He has a whistle.
Yeah.
A little whistle.
That's kind of how he communicates. It's a blast.
Did he pull a quarter out of your ear?
He did not.
No.
No.
Nah, he's not. It's not. I don't want to see. I don't want anything to do with it.
But yeah, I think we walked around in Italy and then Germany and
we did
so much walking on our feet.
Way too much for Dopey weekend for sure.
Yes.
But again, we learned.
Did you have any cronuts?
No, we've had them once and we weren't that impressed. They were a little greasy for us. So
the ones, are you talking the ones in?
Get thee behind me, Satan.
In
That's
Epcot,
just blasphemy.
you can get them with ice cream or you can get them without. This when you come into a World Showcase, you go to the right, and it's right before you get into Canada. There's a cronut stand right there.
Oh. I don't think that's where we were. We went over to
the Odyssey.
The Odyssey where they have that set up and they had cronuts there and it was literally just drenched in oil. And
I think you might have just got a bad batch.
Maybe.
That's what I'm thinking. I love cronuts. I didn't have Mickey waffles or cronuts this trip. I love cronuts and the last time we went, is there something about? No, it wasn't. It was when Christy and I went for cheer, and they didn't have ice cream or something. It was like I thought it was McDonald's because the ice cream machine was broken, and so I just got a cronut with no ice cream. It's not the way to do it.
Not the same.
No,
it's just not the same.
You should have held off. You should have held off and went till you got to the back. There's another cronut stand in the back. You could have got some ice cream from somewhere else.
I know it's hard to tell because of my spelt figure, but I like to eat. Like the best part of Epcot's all just the food and
absolutely
trying different things.
Yeah, I think we had fish and chips the first night. It was really pretty good. Mm-hmm. I mean, we went and it was pitch black and when we sat outside and eat. So I think we're eating fish and chips. I couldn't tell. We bought fish and chips, but when we sat down, I mean, I don't know what it was. It was good. I was eating it. I'm assuming it was fish and chips, but I mean, they could have snuck anything in there. I wouldn't know. I was just
and some people that are older than us that like they left their table and let us sit down. I know they couldn't see their food. I'm just saying.
I think on all of these laughs, maybe we should move straight into the quacking up with the ducks segment. You guys sound like you're primed and ready to go.
I'm ready.
All right. So our quacking up with the ducks, who's going to be brave and go first?
I'll go. What does a tick and the Eiffel Tower have in common?
Like a tick, like a bug?
Yep. What does a tick and the Eiffel Tower have in common?
I don't know.
Don't know.
They're both Paris sites.
Okay. All right.
I like it.
You're welcome.
You're up.
Yeah. Hey. So I don't know if you've heard that story about the cheese that saved the whole world. Did you hear of it? Did y'all hear about it?
No.
Like, I can't believe it. It's legend. Wait for it. Dairy.
Nice. I feel like Lonnie uses that line an awful lot.
Somewhere, maybe.
Jeff, you going?
Sure.
All right, let's hear it.
I was reading an article the other day. They said on average, 30% of pet owners let their pets sleep in bed with them. I tried that once and my goldfish died.
I wondered where the goldfish went. Haven't you got your dad joke ready?
I guess. So a slice of apple pie in Jamaica is $4. In the Bahamas, it costs $3.50. These are the pirates of the Caribbean.
And Disney themed. Look at that. I think you get
Look at you, man.
Points. All right. Anything else for the good of the order tonight, guys, before we wrap up?
No,
No.
50%.
All right.
So reminders to
Be nice
follow
to
us
people
on-
out there.
Absolutely. And make sure you're following us on Instagram. It is at Disney with the Ducks. If you're seeing this on YouTube, make sure you check us out on the podcast. These are going to be released on there too.
Subscribe.
Yep.
Please.
Download. If you're watching on YouTube, click the little bell and subscribe so you can get notifications every time we post a new video. We have our podcast ones. We also have our dining reviews, the Cheese and Quackers episodes that we've been releasing on there.
And we just signed up with a podcast distributor. So you can start searching for us on your podcast catcher of choice. Hopefully in the next few weeks, they'll all be set up. It's kind of a slow process because we're learning as we go, but we appreciate all of you. And on behalf of everybody on screen and everybody behind the scenes today, thanks a lot for listening.
Have a great day, guys.
Thank you guys.
Take care, everybody.
I'm like, what did I miss?
You didn't miss anything. Mountain Valley Water Company. It's a spring water company in Hot Springs. It's
Maybe they can be our next sponsor. Just saying.
Sponsorship is the way.
Maybe so.
I was real excited. We've duplicated Gene.
It's a variant of Gene. It's
Variant.
Gene variant.
The Gene variant.